This second day of section 3.1, solving systems, is going to focus on the next method, which is called substitution. When we're solving by substitution, we want to take one equation and we want to plug it in or substitute it into the second equation. When we're doing substitution, we want to have something like a y equals or an x equals. So in this case, we have y equals 2x, okay? Which means down here, this y is also equal to 2x. So we take that top equation, we're plugging it in, we're substituting it into the bottom. Okay, so instead of this y, we put 2x in its place because that's what it's equal to. So now we have 2x plus 3x equals 40. Combine like terms, solve it, we get x equals 8. Okay, once we have this, we're going to plug it in to solve for y. Okay, so take it, put it up here. 2 times 8 gives us 16. So we have x, we have y, and we always want to write our answer as a coordinate point, x, y. So 8, 16. So where these problems get a little tricky is when we don't have that x equals or y equals. So when we look at this system, there's nothing that we can plug into the other one. So instead, we have to rearrange one. So we're going to take this top one and we're going to rearrange it and turn it into y equals negative 2x plus 5. So basically we wanted to get this y by itself. We subtract 2x from both sides. Okay, so it turns into this. And once we have this, we can take that and plug it in. So now we know y equals negative 2x plus 5. We're going to take that and plug it in to that y down there. All right, so instead of y in this spot, we put in that negative 2x plus 5. Everything else stays the same. All right, we combine like terms, we get this equation, solve it out, x equals 5. Just like the last one, we're now going to take this and we're going to plug it in. Okay, it's easy to plug it in, easiest to plug it in to the one that we rearranged. So we're going to do negative 2 times 5 plus 5. All right, but we really could plug it into anything. We could plug it into this one, plug it into this one. It's all going to give us the same answer, which is negative 5. Okay, always write it as a point. Make sure x comes first, y comes second. We don't always have to rearrange for the y. In certain situations like this one, it's going to be easier to rearrange for the x. So when you look at the equation to start off, be strategic about it. If we wanted to rearrange either of these equations to a y equals, it's going to be more complicated than if we just took this top one and solved it for x. Just take this 3y, move it to the other side, so plus 3y, and we get this equation. So now for this, we're going to take this 3y plus 4, which is what x equals, and we're plugging it in to the x down here. Okay, anytime we plug in a quantity like 3y plus 4, it's a good idea to put parentheses around it because this also has this coefficient out front, 2 times the x. So we're doing 2 times that whole quantity of 3y plus 4. All the rest of the equation stays the same, plus 2y equals 64. Okay, distribute, combine like terms, solve it out, y equals 7. Okay, take that, plug it in. It's easiest to plug into the one that we rearranged. So 3 times 7 plus 4 gives us 25 for x. Now when we put this into our coordinate point, make sure that you have the x first. So 25 comes first, 7 comes next because that's the y. All right, and one more. So when we start off, okay, first thing we always look for is can we plug one into the other one? We can't in this case because we don't have an x equals or a y equals. We're going to have to rearrange one. Let's be strategic about which one we're going to rearrange. It's going to be easiest to get this variable by itself, that plus y. There's no coefficient on it, and it's already positive. So let's do plus 2x to both sides. All right, so when we do that, we get this equation, y equals 2x plus 4. Okay, and this is going to be plugged in to the y in the other equation, the one on the top in this case. Again, we always want to put parentheses around that. So it's 2x minus 3. Instead of times y here, we're putting that 2x minus 4 in its place. Everything else stays the same. Okay, distribute. Something that you guys tend to do wrong in this case is you forget that this is being subtracted. So really multiply that -3, include the negative there, times both of those. So we end up with a -6x, but then a +12, because we have -3 times -4 here, gives us that +12. Combine like terms, solve it out. We're going to get a fraction here, 9/4. Okay, plug it in. It's always easiest to plug it into the one that we rearranged because it's just y equals whatever that turns into. So here we're plugging in a fraction. Let's do a quick refresher. So it's 2 times 9/4 minus 4. First thing we want to do is multiply these two fractions, top times top, bottom times bottom. Gives us 18/4. Okay, after that, we can simplify that 18/4. Divide them both by 2, and it's going to turn into 9/2. We still have to subtract 4 from that, and to subtract fractions, we're going to do this up here, we need to give them a common denominator. Okay, so we have 4. We want to switch it to a common denominator, which is 2 times 2 on the top times 2 on the bottom gives us 8/2. Okay, so 9/2 minus 8/2 is going to give us our answer, 1/2 for y.